Go.
Hi. Okay. I'm Yosefa from Cooking Outside the Box, and I'm going to demonstrate a lattice work crust. I'm using a mixture of a recipe that I have on my blog, but with vodka instead of part of the water, which I heard from America's Test Kitchen. So it's really easy to roll out and easy to work with. I would definitely recommend this, though I haven't tasted it yet. So I have 2 uncovered apple pies here
that I made ago.
My daughter piled the apples in there. The only thing I would say, I made a little mistake. I cut the edge too short, and I would definitely leave it much bigger until you're done and cut them together. But I haven't made this in a long time, so I kind of forgot. Okay. So I'm just going to take a nice sharp knife.
But it will get out yummy and I could feel it.
Okay. I'm going to take a nice sharp knife and make some nice even slices. The thinner your slices, the more intricate your lattice work. The thicker your slices, the faster you'll be done. And they're a little easier to work with. Now, if you weren't making lattice, you would make holes in the crust to let out the steam. So the lattice is sort of just a fancy way of doing that. So you don't want your lattice to be like closed. But how open you have it is kind of a matter of opinion. Okay.
Those are the apples that I piled.
Once again, I haven't done this in a really long time, but basically, I think I start in the middle and just weave them together. Let's see. And I am doing this in honor of Pi Day. Pi, P-I, the mathematical formula. The mathematical number for a circle, 3.1415, and on and on and on. And
just weave
tomorrow is March 14th, 2015. So won't happen again for another 100 years. That much of a Pi Day. Okay, so I'm getting to the edge, and if I had more, I would just pinch them together and maybe even flip them over. But I didn't leave that much. This pie crust is so easy to work with. I would definitely recommend this recipe or some recipe like it using vodka in place of part of the flour. Part of the water. The idea being that you don't want too much water in a pie crust because the water binds with the gluten or increasing the effects of the gluten in the flour, and you don't want a glutinous pie crust because then it would be chewy like bread and not flaky and tender. So the vodka does not do that. So the vodka makes it easy to roll out because it's moist, and yet it evaporates in the oven and does not create extra gluten. I'm also using pastry flour, though my recipe, let's see, my recipe uses I think the recipe probably says all-purpose flour. But I happen to have pastry flour in the house. Okay. So I'm trying to pull out the edges of the inner pie crust so that they're together. But I have a feeling it's going to fall apart in the end. Okay, thanks. I do recall, I think in the past, that I used a little water to make the, what's it called? A little water to make the two crusts go together in the past, but I don't have much crust on the bottom, so there's not much to do. That's it. Normally I would pinch all this together and cut off the extra, but I already cut off the bottom extra. So, what's left? I have in my oven preheated to 425, something like that. And I'm going to stick these in for 40 to 45 minutes. Thanks. You can turn it off now.
But we're making two.